The misunderstood power of an apology. You messed up. Maybe it was something small, a careless word, a wrong tone, a moment of silence that screamed louder than any insult. Maybe it was something bigger, something you knew would hurt the moment it left your mouth. And now, there's distance. Something feels off, and part of you wants to fix it, but the other part wants to protect your pride. That's the war no one talks about. Not the conflict between you and the other person, but the one inside you. The part that says, I should say something. And the part that says, if I do, I lose power. But what if that second voice is lying to you? What if real power doesn't come from standing tall, but from bowing your ego? The Stoics had a different idea of strength. To them, the strongest person in the room wasn't the one who shouted loudest or won the argument. It was the one who owned their part, not for approval, not for guilt, but because truth demands it. Seneca said, "No man was ever wise by chance." And wisdom starts with accountability. So let's start here, with the truth. You can mess up and still be strong. You can fall short and still lead. You can hurt someone and still be a person of honor. But only if you choose to face it, not justify it, not explain it away. Just face it, with clarity, with humility, and with backbone. Because here's what most people get wrong about apologies. They think it means weakness. Stoicism teaches it's the opposite. A weak person hides behind silence. A strong person steps into it and says, I was wrong. 3 words. Simple, rare, transformative. But before you say them, you have to understand something deeper. An apology isn't just about what you say. It's about how you say it, where it's coming from, and whether your ego is still clinging to the wheel. That's where we go in part 2. Because real apology isn't about being liked. It's about being honest with them and with yourself. The ego trap that ruins real apologies. You've probably done it before. You apologized, but something was off. Maybe you said the right words, but deep down, you were still defensive, still justifying, still trying to protect your image. That's not an apology. That's negotiation disguised as humility. And the Stoics would have called it out instantly, because here's what they knew. The ego doesn't care about the other person. The ego cares about survival, control, being right. So even when we apologize, the ego tries to sneak in through the back door. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I didn't mean to, but... Sorry, but you have to understand. No, that's not strength. That's spin. And people can feel it. A real apology doesn't come from your ego. It comes from your integrity. The Stoic leader doesn't ask, how do I get them to forgive me? They ask, what part of this situation am I responsible for, and how do I face it fully? Because to a Stoic, the goal isn't to be forgiven, it's to tell the truth. Clean, clear, courageous. And if forgiveness comes, fine. But if it doesn't, you still did the right thing. That's leadership. That's character. And that's why Stoics always focused on intent, not outcome. On action, not reaction. You're not apologizing to get something back. You're apologizing because it's what a grounded, self-aware person does. Period. And once you detach from being liked, you can actually say something real, which is exactly what we do next. Because in part 3, we're going to break down the anatomy of a Stoic apology. A Stoic apology isn't dramatic. It's not wrapped in emotion. It doesn't beg. It doesn't manipulate. It doesn't overcompensate. It's grounded, direct, clean. Step 1. Acknowledge what happened. Clearly, not vaguely, not with half-truths. Say what you did. Own it without decoration. I raised my voice at you in a way that was disrespectful. I ignored your message, even though I knew you were waiting. Specific, precise, no escape routes. Step 2. Acknowledge the impact. Show that you're not just aware of what you did, but how it affected them. I imagine that made you feel dismissed, and I understand why that hurt. Notice, no but at the end. No, but I was stressed. Or, but you provoked me. Just acknowledgement. Step 3. Take full responsibility, without excuse, without condition. That was on me. I wasn't acting from the kind of person I want to be. This step, it builds respect, even if they're still angry, because there's something rare and magnetic about someone who doesn't shift blame. Step 4. Show your growth, not through promises, through perspective. I've been working on this part of myself, and I see more clearly now where I went wrong. That's not, I'll never do it again. That's, I'm becoming more aware, and I'm changing. That's real. And step 5, give space. Don't demand a reply. Don't chase resolution. Just say what needs to be said and let go. That's a Stoic apology. Measured, humble, strong, no ego, no expectation, just truth. But let's be honest. None of this is easy, especially when they did something wrong too. So what happens when you're not the only one at fault? That's where we go. Part 4. When you apologize first, even when they're wrong too. Here's the challenge most people never overcome: apologizing first when you're not the only one who messed up. Because let's be real, it's easy to say sorry when you're 100% at fault, but when it was 50-50, or worse, when they started it, the ego flares, your pride kicks in. You say, why should I be the one to apologize when they're not owning their part? Here's the Stoic response. Because your peace matters more than your pride. The goal isn't who's right. The goal is who's free. And when you wait for the other person to apologize first, you give them control over your growth, over your clarity, over your values. The Stoic doesn't need conditions to do what's right. Epictetus said, if someone speaks badly of you, live so that no one believes it. Same with apologies. Even if they never say sorry, live in a way that doesn't require revenge or ego protection. Because the moment you clean your side of the street, you walk away clean. Their guilt, their silence, their blame, that's not yours to carry anymore. And maybe they'll never apologize. That's okay. You didn't apologize for them. You did it for your alignment. That's the mindset shift. That's Stoic leadership in relationships. And now that you've seen how to apologize like a Stoic, it's time to do something with it. And that's exactly what part 5 is for. Call to courage and call to action. So now the question isn't, should I apologize? The real question is, will you have the courage to do it clean? No games, no ego, no expectations. Just ownership. Because the person you become, every time you choose truth over pride, is the person who becomes unshakable. So here's your challenge. Think of one person you need to apologize to. One moment you keep replaying in your head. One wound you may have caused, even unintentionally. Then do it. Write it. Say it. Send it. Not to be forgiven, but to be free. Call to action. If this message hits you, if you felt that moment of hesitation, of guilt, of resistance, then it's time to act. Drop a comment below with just one word. Ready. Ready to lead. Ready to own. Ready to grow. And subscribe, because this is the path we're walking here. Truth, discipline, power. Lead by owning, not controlling. Let's be honest. Most people live their entire lives trying to manage how they're perceived. They'd rather be liked than real. They'd rather be respected than honest. But the Stoic path doesn't ask for appearances. It demands alignment. When you apologize, not for control, but for clarity, you lead, not just in your relationships, but in your soul. That's where the real leadership starts. Not when others follow you, but when you can follow through on your values, even when no one else does. This is emotional maturity. This is inner discipline. This is how Stoics lead from the inside out. So next time you fall short, and you will, don't hide, don't wait, don't defend, just say it, own it, grow. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more accountable ones. People like you, who understand that power isn't in dominance, it's in responsibility, and that every sincere apology is a brick in the foundation of a life built on truth. Say less. Own more. That's the Stoic way.